The restaurant was glowing with golden chandeliers and the soft hum of chatter. Men in suits discussed business deals, and waiters moved gracefully between tables carrying silver trays. But then, the air changed. At one of the tables near the center, a man in a white traditional robe raised his voice. He waved his hand sharply, his tone filled with irritation. The young waitress standing beside him froze, cheeks flushed, eyes lowered. Everyone nearby turned to look. He had just insulted her in Arabic. And though most people didn't understand what he said, they could feel the cruelty in his tone. What happened next would leave the entire restaurant silent. Before we dive into this unforgettable story, don't forget to subscribe to Kindness Lights, where real stories of empathy and humanity remind us that kindness is still alive in this world. If this story touches your heart, please hit like, share it with someone who needs a smile today, and tell us in the comments how kindness has changed your life. Now, let's begin. It was a Friday evening at the Grand Royal Hotel, a place where luxury met elegance. The staff moved with polished precision, their smiles practiced but polite. Among them was Emily, a 25-year-old waitress working double shifts to pay for her mother's medical bills. She wasn't from a rich family, but she carried herself with quiet pride, always respectful, always kind. That night, she was serving a private dinner for visiting businessmen from overseas. One of them, a tall man wearing a white robe and a black head covering, seemed especially impatient. His name was Mr. Karim, a billionaire investor known for his wealth and temper. When Emily approached with her notepad and gentle smile, he frowned. He muttered something to the men sitting next to him, a sharp comment in Arabic, and laughed under his breath. The others chuckled too. Emily didn't understand Arabic, but she could sense the mockery. The laughter burned in her ears. She forced a smile and continued writing down the order. Then he said something louder, again in Arabic, shaking his head at her. The other men smirked. People at nearby tables began to notice. Emily's hands trembled slightly. Her throat tightened. She wanted to disappear, but she also knew she couldn't walk away. This was her job. Just as Emily was about to step back, a voice spoke up from the corner. A middle-aged man in a gray suit, another guest, looked directly at Karim. "Excuse me," he said. "Do you realize she understands every word you're saying?" The billionaire froze, his smirk fading. Emily looked confused, and the man continued, switching to Arabic himself. The room grew quiet. What he said next made Emily's eyes widen. He told Karim, in perfect Arabic, "You just insulted the kindest person in this room. And you don't even know who she is." Karim's eyebrows lifted in surprise. "What do you mean?" The man smiled and turned to Emily. "Go ahead," he said softly. "Tell him." Emily hesitated, then took a deep breath. Her voice was steady, but her words carried strength. "I may not understand Arabic," she said, "but my father was born in Dubai. He taught me enough to recognize what you said." A hush fell over the table. Her eyes met Karim's. "You said I was too simple for such a place. That I should be cleaning floors, not serving food to men like you." Gasps rippled through the nearby tables. "But my father also taught me something else," she continued. "He said the worth of a person isn't measured by the clothes they wear, or the money they have, it's measured by how they treat others." Her voice didn't shake anymore. "So, I'll keep serving with kindness, even to those who forget what kindness feels like." The room went silent. Even the music from the dining hall seemed to fade away. Karim looked stunned. He opened his mouth to speak but no words came out. His arrogance dissolved into shame. Finally, he said quietly, "You understood that?" Emily nodded. He lowered his gaze, clearly embarrassed. After a long pause, he said, "I owe you an apology." The sincerity in his tone caught everyone off guard. He gestured for her to sit, but she politely refused. "I don't need an apology," she said softly. "Just a little respect." Karim nodded again, then stood up and did something no one expected. He placed his hand over his heart and said, in English this time, "You've reminded me of something I forgot long ago." That night, when the dinner ended, Karim left a generous tip, not out of guilt, but gratitude. But what he did next went beyond money. A few weeks later, the hotel received a call. Karim had anonymously donated enough funds to cover the full cost of Emily's mother's surgery. the management told Emily, and tears filled her eyes. She never saw him again, but she remembered his final words before leaving that night. Kindness doesn't need translation. Sometimes, people speak harshly out of pride, stress, or ignorance. But kindness, true kindness, cuts through every language, every culture, every barrier. Emily's strength didn't come from anger. It came from grace, the power to stay kind even when others aren't. And in that moment, her calm dignity taught a billionaire something no amount of money could ever buy: respect. So, the next time someone underestimates you, remember, your kindness is your greatest strength. It might not always change people instantly, but it can plant a seed that grows long after the moment has passed. If this story touched your heart, share it. Let's remind the world that compassion is still powerful, that decency still matters, and that one small act of kindness can light up an entire room. You've been watching Kindness Lights, where every story reminds us that the world becomes brighter when we choose to be kind.